So if you're doing everything you're supposed to in your code, then as you can see, the red triangle is going to be moving off to the left and then continuously coming back, as well as the green circle is going to be moving off to the right and continuously coming back. In order to make them go slower, I can go into my code here and I can change this to maybe moving by 10 and possibly, I'm sorry, it would not be there. That's not where you change the code. Back up, you would be changing it here on update danger. It's currently going 30 pixels per second. Maybe I want to change it to 10. And maybe I want this one to be at 1, so it's going really slow. So now, if I run my game, and I think I might have typed an extra parenthesis. If I run my game, no, I deleted it. It should work. And now I've changed my code so that the triangle is moving by 10 and then the circle is moving by 1, so it's going a lot slower. And as you can see here, I just fixed that code here, here, and here, and then in the 1, 1, and 1. So the next part is going to be making the player moving. And so remember, this is what we learned on Monday. This has to do with the conditional code for the player. And so it says update player number string and then number. So given the player's y coordinate and a direction, output the next y. So right here in 87 is where you're going to be putting the examples. Since we have the recipe already written out in packet 7, we can just go ahead and start by typing. We'll be putting example here and then open parentheses, update player, and then remember we're going to be inputting a number like the x coordinate 320 and then the string up, which is going to tell the computer that we want it to go up. And then 320 is not the amount we want it to go up by. 320 is the current x position, and then right here in this area is where we indicate how much we want it to go up by, which is 20 pixels. So another example would be, and for me, I just like to copy my code here, but I think I'm going to have one too many parentheses. Yeah. So update player, and instead of 320, we'll go ahead and put 100 here, and then change 100 to this, and then we're going to do the same thing by just adding in the code for down. So update player, and so I can switch this to down, but remember we don't want caps. Down and down, but we want this one to be 320 and then down. So we got 320, 120, but if we're going down we want to subtract. So now looking at our code, it's saying computer, make sure you have parentheses for all of these. I want to say computer, if I give you the example of update player and then the x position is 320 and I push up, I want you to add 20 to 320. If I give you the example update player and the position is 100 and I push up, I want you to add 20 to 100. Same thing going down. If I hit down, I want you to subtract 20 from the current x position of 320. So it's not going to work right away. You have to actually write the definition. And so remember, the definition is a little bit more complicated here because we're using the conditional. So we have define and then update player y key, and that's a closed bracket, but then we have to open up and say conditional, if I can spell conditional, and then notice there's going to be a lot of stuff in between these brackets. So we have the first thing, which is a bracket, and then open up a string equals question mark, and then up key, and then open another parentheses. We're adding y 20, and so then we should have a close parenthesis, and I think actually there's probably 2 here, although it's not on my paper, because we have 1 open here, 1 closed here, 1 open, 1 closed. So that's our first one. I'm going to pause the video and see if you can write the string down, and then come back and check with me. And so hopefully you've written that string for down. I noticed an error on my paper, so I'm going to go ahead and point it out now, that in order for this to actually run, you're going to need to open the parentheses for string and then close it after key, and then open a new parentheses for plus y20, which would be y plus 20, and then close parentheses. So you have two sets of parentheses in here, and I noticed that I did not put that on my paper, so you're going to want to make sure you close the parentheses there, and then also do that for the down key. And then finally our else statement. So this is really telling the computer, we're gonna type in update player and then whatever up or down we have, and then that's going to be the key, and then the computer's going to run and see, does it match the string up, and if so, we're going to increase y by 20. Does it match the string down? If so, we're going to subtract by 20. And so if you run this, then in theory, your main player should move up and down. And again, how could we make this go faster or slower? We would change from 20 to possibly 10. So that is how much you should have gotten finished through Monday's lesson. And so the next video is going to start Unit 8. And so you're going to want to make sure that you get the packet for Unit 8 before you watch the video so that you can follow along.